Spiritualized is a musical project fronted by former member of Spaceman 3, Mr. Jason Pierce, that has this niche blend of neo-psych and chamber pop and indie rock and space rock that I feel is fucking exquisite. And this is one of those artists that has an impressively consistent discography. I've enjoyed pretty much every album I've ever heard by them, and I guess I should mention that them at this point is pretty much just Jason, as he does all the production and writing and vocals and the guitar work. And if you're listening to Spiritualized, you should expect very dense, orchestral, and layered instrumentation that has a power that could kick you in the gut. But even when he chooses to keep it more low-key, all the detail a lot of times still feels overwhelming. And that's all alongside Jason's very delicate and boyish vocal that still knows when to get more dynamic to complement the weight of a track, like on Come Together off Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space, just off top. One thing I've noticed about Spiritualized that I love is that all their crescendos feel like perfectly timed. They build up just the right amount of anticipation, the pacing feels completely natural, and lyrically they seem to tackle themes of love and death and existence, all of which I think are very relevant to the majority of people alive, therefore they translate very easily, and I think Jason's songwriting capabilities have only improved over the years. Everything the band does is just scarily convincing to me. And this album pretty much strikes me as classic Spiritualized. Nothing really drastically different in terms of song structure or sound palette, but I've heard this is Jason's last album, so what better way to go out than release a culmination of all the things that has made your music so great for so many years. And it's worth mentioning that he pretty much produced this whole thing alone in his room, just adding to the fact that it feels like this lonely old rock and roll record done by a guy with nothing but his memory of the old days and a heavy heart. And I love the fact that despite the songwriting and vocals feeling very innocent, there is an underlying sense of melancholy and weariness to it all, like in A Perfect Miracle, which is this waltzy cut where he's describing this burning passion he has for a girl, but then he pulls away from her in the end as if it's nothing and he was expecting it the whole time, and the time spent with her was more than enough, and now he can just kind of comfortably ease into it all falling apart. I've also heard very few songs in my life that actually make the ukulele work, but this is one of them. It builds momentum super well with the glistening synthesizers and acoustic guitar and horn and strings and the drums that come into the mix in the chorus. It just ascends to the fucking clouds. The track's also really similar to the first song off Ladies and Gentlemen, which I'm just gonna assume was done intentionally, I don't really know. But the inclusion of the mellow, lackadaisical, bluesy guitar in I'm Your Man is a nice tone switch, and I like its brief eruptions in the chorus with the sprightly horns, as well as the very entrancing solo towards the end. Lyrically, it seems like it illustrates these traits that he feels like he should have, or he has inside his head maybe, in a relationship, but then at the end of the song, he's kind of like, yo, I'm actually just the fucking worst, and that's the reality of the situation. Let's Dance has this stunning piano melody that slides through the whole thing, along with these soothing ambient synths and tambourine blanketing it, and by the time the crescendo comes in the second half and we hear that squealing synth, it marks one of the album's moments of flooring chaos. Along with the track like On the Sunshine, which is just peak density the whole way through, it just keeps piling on element after element until it's this jam-packed wall by the end, or the twisted arrangement of instruments that gradually lose control at the end of The Morning After. And Sail On Through is a great closure, the way the bass softly plods along and the guitars unfold alongside these mesmerizing ambient parts is gorgeous, and its steady build to the crescendo reminds me of what I said about the immaculate pacing of these songs. Lyrically, I see it as like your ability to move on at the end of a relationship for the sake of that other person that you were with, or just the least painful option for you both. And on The Prize, I like the fact that it raises this question of whether love is what we're trying to get out of, or the prize of life, or if it's more of an inconvenience or distraction for you. I mean, there's so many different avenues that you can take your life, so many different things you can focus your energy into, and it's just really important to be sure that this is what you want. I can't really isolate many sonic moments that genuinely strike me as poor. It's more just the songs being kind of structurally predictable, and this album just being kind of redundant for Spiritualized. And I do kind of wish that the drums were more present in a few tracks. Overall, I think this album does a great job at painting this comfortable picture of the subtle beauties of life and love, and raising some more cynical and realistic points as well, but even when those happen, they feel more like, well, such is life, than they do like these hugely heartbreaking moments. It's like finding the beauty in both the beginning and ending of such precious things. And yeah, I think this album, to me at least, is exactly what 2018 needed. I haven't had an 8 in fucking forever, and I think this is an 8, so cheers, boys. Am I right? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be Fucking sick. Thank you so much for 700 subs. I hope you like the new logo, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.